All right. Good morning again, everyone who is watching. My name is Holamide, and I'm the anchor for this particular podcast, Tech Tribe Possibilities. What we look at with Tech Talk is the possibility of people learning the ropes, the pros and the cons of uh, people who had gone ahead of us. Tech Talk is to inspire people who are stuck in the tech journey, but not only for people who are already in the tech world, but also for people who wants to transition and are scared. Right. The stories of professionals who have been there ahead of us is to inspire us. So that is why we hold this podcast called Tech Tribe. So today, my guest is John T. Idowu. He's a cloud and DevOps engineer, a prominent cloud and DevOps engineer for that matter, an AI prompt engineer, a CTO, and is one of the people in our community who is solving problems using AI and technology. So, John, uh, welcome to Tech Talk. Uh,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
all right. It's simple. I just ask you questions related to your journey, and you just share your experience, and we see how what we can learn from your experience. So, if you don't mind, let's start quickly. It's just 1 hour. We don't have enough time. Can you tell us about your journey into tech? How did you jump into, were you born with it? Some persons would say they were born with the instinct to code, to develop software. How did you transition into technology, to IT?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. I think my journey is kind of funny and interesting at the same time. Yeah, so my bachelor's degree was in microbiology. Yeah, I studied microbiology. I mean, I just want to work in the lab, do things. Then when some of my friends in OAU, I finished from OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria, some of my friends would be like, this tech thing. And that was when 2008, 2009, that was when tech started gaining ground in Nigeria. The Jobberman guys, they were our colleagues in OAU. They started their startup with jobberman.com. A lot of my friends, to even microbiology, were like, this is tech, this is tech. But the rest of us are like, what is tech? I beg, I beg. Let's do what we do and let's go and get a job in microbiology and do this. And I finished, I was working in pharmaceutical industry, and I was still seeing some of my colleagues talking about tech. I still didn't pay attention. What flipped my script was during the COVID period here, and when Paystack did their exit for $200 million. That was when I was like, oh boy, two young guys, my age mates, just secure $200 million. I mean, whatever I'm doing can never be the future. This must be the future. All right. So that was the instinct for me. And I was like, whatever it is I need to do to get into the tech world, I need to do it. And that was around July 2020. Even though prior to that, I've always been okay with computers, but just normal stuff, designing PowerPoint, presentations, doing normal stuff on computer, on Windows, even right from when I was small, but not really getting into the tech stuff. So it was 2020, I decided that fully I need to like embrace this journey. And that was when I started the journey. And of course, I made every. All right, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. So every mistake that a rookie makes, all right, I made it also in the year 2020. So when I started, I was like, oh, I love front end. Let me just build websites. So I started learning HTML, JavaScript, CSS. And after like 2 months, I started getting well. I got stuck. I was like, I'm tired, Jerry. Let me go and learn backend. So I switched, I started learning Node.js, all right, how to build API, design APIs. I did that for another 2, 3 months. I still got stuck. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Now it's data science that is reigning. Let me switch to data science, I picked up Python, started learning data science. And after 2 months, I stopped again. I switched over again. And I was, oh, I think cybersecurity that's what is reigning. All right. I started learning cybersecurity again. So jumping from one area to another, that was what I did for the first 6 months. And I started learning until I met a guy. All right. His name is AY. So AY has been in the tech world. I used to laugh at him before. He now told me that, John, if truly you want to get into tech, all right, and you're serious, just pick one and focus on it. There is no area of tech that is not lucrative, whether it's front end or back end or cybersecurity or cloud engineering or whatever. Just pick one and stick to it. He now sat me down and said, you have tried so many things. Which one do you actually think that you have a flair for? And I was like, okay, I think when I was learning AWS, I actually loved what I was doing there. And it told me fantastic. Just pick it and stick to it. All right, and that was January 2021. And that was when I decided that, you know what, jumping from one area to the other is not going to help me. Let me just focus. All right. And that's when I started learning Linux. How does the cloud work? All right. Took some courses on Google, took some boot camps. All right. And I started learning everything I was learning now on application delivery, application deployment. How, if a developer builds an application, how does the application get deployed to the end users? How do they use it? And the guy told me one thing. The guy's a full stack developer. He told me what he said. In the software development life cycle, yeah, building the application is just like 40% of the journey. All right. The 60% that is remaining is what happens after the application gets built. All right. The decision that gets made, the thing that you need to do, even after the application has been built by a developer, that is 60% of what happens at the end of the day. All right. And so I was like, all right, let me focus and channel my energy on this. And I found out that it was a whole lot. All right. It was a whole lot. And jumping from one resource to another, if you search on Google now, thousands of resources. All right. But I thank God that I was able to have that my guy, that told me that, all right, just look up at this guy and follow whatever he's telling you to do. And that was what I started doing. And little by little, I started understanding, all right, okay, so this is actually how this works. How does the entire software development lifecycle connect? All right. And I found out that as a DevOps engineer, I'm almost like a fulcrum, all right, for the entire SDLC. So you're involved from every stage, from the beginning, the planning phase, to the end stage. All right. And at the end of the day, it's actually an infinity loop. If you look at the DevOps logo, it's an infinity loop, starts and goes, does not end. And that's why I started, learning little by little, little by little. And I got my first job, got my internship, got my first job, and from there, it's been a jolly, a difficult ride. Let me not say jolly ride.
In what you've just explained, I have like 4 or 5 questions popping from my head already. And the first one would be, how were you able to manage the curiosity to survive? I mean, as a young graduate, with the desire to learn, right? One of the things I've seen in our community, especially in our world, in part of the world we had, Nigeria, is that the moment you leave the university, the first thing you're chasing is, let me get a source of income, right? Let me get a niche of income. And how do you balance that drive to survive? How were you able to do it? The drive to survive and the passion to learn a skill and all. Or were you able to, the moment you left the university, you got a job, you were working, then you started learning by the side. Even if that was the case, how were you able to balance both, where you know that okay, I'm working in a pharmaceutical company, all right, quite all right, but I also want to go into tech, right? And you were able to distribute, manage your time, and while you were working, you were still able to learn and develop yourself in tech. How were you able to do that?
Okay, okay, thank you. So, first of all, let me say it's easier for you if you just finish university, all right, and you decide that I want to go to tech. It's much more easier. Life is much more simple, much more easier at that stage. It's easier for you to just, okay, I want to dedicate the next 2, 3 years of my life to get this skill, all right. Unlike probably you have like me now, I was already working, all right, and I decided that now I want to go into tech. So I cannot leave what I'm doing, all right now. So what I did was I had to understand myself. So I want to learn, all right. During the day, I work for a pharmaceutical firm. How do I learn? So I understood myself that I'm an early riser. So I wake up early in the morning. So oftentimes I wake up early in the morning, now I switch to Netflix, I watch movies, or I watch YouTube, or I watch different things. All right. So I told myself this, guy, if you truly want to learn this thing, this is the best time for you to learn. All right. So I told myself every day I'm going to devote 3, 4, 5 hours, all right, to learn this my tech. And that means if I wake up by 4 a.m. in the morning, between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., all right, I'll make sure that I learn so that by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, I can wake up, take my bath, then go out and do my work. So I know that I cannot actually learn during the day. I cannot learn during the night. The best time for me to learn is in the morning, and that was what I did. So I wake up 4 a.m. in the morning. I just start, whether I have a course I need to do, I start doing it. Whether it's a deployment I need to do, I start doing it. Whether it's a project I'm working on, I start doing it. And I make sure that I was consistent. Every 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm awake, all right? And I need to do what I need to do. So I think the best is just understand yourself, know yourself, all right? If you wake up early in the morning, if you can wake up in the morning, fantastic. If it's in the evening, fantastic. But get a time that you're going to be free from distractions, all right? Because if you want to learn something, you want to fine-tune your brain, you need a time where you'll be alone without distractions. And that was why early in the morning worked really well for me. By that time, everybody is still sleeping. All right. So I can do what I need to do for 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. All right. And learn. And if you do that consistently every day for 3 months, 6 months, so it's going to become part of you. All right. And it's no more, it's not going to be difficult anymore. So right now, I just found out that every 4 a.m. in the morning, I just wake up. I don't even set alarm or anything. I just wake up by 4 a.m. I know I have a lot of things to do. I just pick it up before every other person wakes up by 6:37. I'm done with so many things I need to do. So that was how I was able to do it. And the consistency is the key thing. All right. So if you do it 1 day, 2 day, and you stop, all right, you pick up next week, pick up next month, you're going to lose steam. All right. And the way God has wired our brain, if you do things consistently, your brain will usually respond to you.
To it.
All right. And yes, your brain will respond to it. And you will see that you are stacking up knowledge little by little, little by, and that knowledge will compound. So what you need is actually that compounding knowledge. And you see that what you don't understand 2 months ago, now you can do it easily. But that can only happen if you are consistently, devoting your time to learn what you're learning. So that was what I was able to realize early on in my journey. And I picked a time that was consistent for me, and I devoted all my energy to it.
Yeah. So from being a biochemist to a technical officer, what challenges did you face breaking into the tech industry, starting from when you started learning, right? What challenges did you? I mean, for me, one of my experience when I started learning was I quit several times. You understand? I quit, and a few months back I'll pick it up. Few months I'll leave. So, what challenges did you face while learning as a young techies, someone who is just getting into tech? What are the challenges you found? How were you able to overcome these challenges?
Okay, so I'll say the first major challenge I faced was lack of motivation. All right. So the first time when I actually wanted to start learning tech, when I just finished school, all right, there was no motivation because, of course, all the people that are doing tech that was saying, I mean, why should I leave what I'm doing? If I get a job in Nigerian breweries as a microbiologist, I can be earning 400K, 500K. The people that were doing tech then were earning 120K, 150K. Then there were no remote jobs in Nigeria. So that lack of motivation was the first issue I had. Right? Because of course, I'm a young guy. My own is which career prospect can give me the best possible outcome. That's what I was looking for. And as I then, tech wasn't it for me. So I didn't really have that motivation. So just like I said, the major motivation I had, came during the COVID era. All right, when remote work became the in thing, we now have techies in Nigeria working for companies in the US, in UK, in Canada, earning dollars, somewhere earning 1 million naira. When you convert it to naira, somewhere earning $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 monthly, which of course is extremely rare in every other profession. So that was the first motivation I had. And that told me that, all right, guy, if you really want to make good money in your life, all right, you need to devote your time to learn one aspect of this tech, all right? That's one motivation. The second thing was that I now saw other people that also didn't have probably a computer science or computer engineering background. And they were able to also switch, all right, and are already doing things, whether it's cybersecurity or in development. So that also now gave me that courage that if this guy can do it, all right, there was even one guy, I went for a Google Dev program in Abuja, and one guy came, I was talking to us then, and the guy actually studied Yoruba language in university. Yoruba language, and the guy now is a Google developer, working on, global stuff. And I was like, if this guy can do it, then I have no excuse not to, be able to learn. So that was also one of the things that challenged me. I was like, all right, so if somebody that studied Yoruba can do it, I can also do it. All right. I'm young. I have the brain, my brain is sharp, all right. And if I truly devote my time and my energy to this, I can do it. And I know if I do it, it's a rewarding career. All right. So most of the guys that are not doing it, a lot of them are working remotely, earning in dollars. That is what I want for myself. So one thing I told myself is this: is a battle between you and poverty. All right. So the only thing that can make me to escape poverty is if I devote my energy and learn this thing. And that was one of the things that did it for me. Is it I want to continue what I'm doing, which I know will end up in poverty, or I devote myself to learn and escape poverty? I have to pick one. So I think that was the major motivation and challenge for me. And I went on.
So, the next question I was going to ask you, you had mentioned seeing being inspired by people you saw who, for example, your friend who was already into tech while you were still contemplating if you want to join or not, and also seeing people who transitioned into technology and what they learned in the university is not even it's far from high tea, right? Having said that, what do you think the role of, I mean, in the tech space now, what do you think the role of mentorship or belonging to a community? What role do you think they play in your journey as a tech person?
Can you come again? I didn't get the question very well.
So the question is, I was asking, what role be the having a mentor or belonging to a community, right? Maybe belonging to a community of developers, belonging to a community of data scientists, belonging to a community of certain programming language, maybe Java group and all those things. What role do you think those communities and having a mentor, what role do you think they played in your journey as a tech professional?
So I will say I cannot be where I am today, all right, if I don't have access to mentors or communities. Communities and mentors they are the key, all right. And I'm going to start one by one. For communities, all right, uh, communities are what's going to inspire you, all right. So what first thing I did was when I started learning, I started joining different communities. There's Google developer groups. So in Abuja, first thing I did was just to join the GDG group, and I started attending their meetups. And from there, I'll see people that will talk. Then AWS community. So when I started learning cloud engineering, I also saw AWS community. I joined also, and I started attending AWS community meetups. And one thing you find out is this: from the community, there are several people in the community. All right, there are people that are at your stage where you're just learning. There are people that have learned and looking for jobs. There are people that are already working that are, at a certain level. There are people that are experts already. So you find that in a community, you will meet all those kind of people there that will share different information, and you have people that you can also relate with. All right. So community will help you, number one, to guide you on your journey. You will see that there are people like you also on that journey. You are not alone. So you're able to see that, right, there are people that are also coming up. Thank God, it's not only me. Number two, you see people that are above you. So if you have any challenge, you can always reach out to them. And what you find out is this: a lot of people are very willing to share information and help when you are specific with your help and your request. All right. So meaning you are doing something, you got stuck, you need a specific information. In the community, people will always be there to help you out. All right, not just coming to drop general requests all the time, all right, that you can always find on Google. So you always see people that will help you out. And also, community also will give you visibility. All right, so just like I said, there are people that are already advanced in the community. And what you find out is this: people that organizations that want to recruit, most of them recruit via referrals.
Referral,
All right,
exactly.
so
That's true.
exactly. So probably the city of Money Point is in a community, is a dev community, and wants to recruit two infrastructure engineers. All right, he will definitely come to his community and drop, his request that I'm looking for this so. If you're interested, reach out to me. I belong to AWS, West Africa community, and I can tell you that there is no week, all right, that somebody will not drop a job request. I'm looking for so. If you can do it, reach out to me directly. So communities, you get access to resources, get access to jobs, get access to people that can help you out. So community is very important. All right. If you're coming up, please look for a community to join. And you can also take it a bit further by volunteering for that community. So if you volunteer for the community, you will now have much direct access to the leaders of that community. And you will now stand out. You will stand out from the crowd. A community might have 500 people, 1,000 people, sometimes even 30,000 people. So what will make you stand up from that community? You volunteer your time, for a program that any of the community wants to do. And that will also now bring me to your second question of mentors. So mentors are also very key because you will have a lot of resources when you are coming up. All right, you go to Google, go to ChatGPT, everywhere. You see so many things. You will not know what are the specific things I need to do in order for me to actually succeed. Whether you want to go to DevOps engineering or cloud engineering or backend engineering or UI UX. All right. So if you have a mentor can now guide you and say, "Guy, go and take this course. Go and take this resource. This resource will set you up in the next 6 months." All right. If you have a friend that's already, in the industry you're going to, it's easier for you, just like me. If you don't have, then join a community. In the community, we volunteer. You have access to mentors there that you can directly reach out to, and your life will like a mentor will shorten your journey. What should have taken
Exactly.
you 2 years, to achieve, a mentor can shorten it to 6 months for you. That's how important mentors are.
That's that's beautiful to hear. I always use this analogy when talking about mentoring or mentorship. I always say, um, for someone who has a mentor and someone who does not have a mentor, it's like both of you driving to the same destination. All right. The person who has a mentor, is like someone who is driving with a sat nav. You understand? So because you have a
Mm,
sat nav, you know, if someone is telling you turn left, turn right, even though you are going to the same destination with the person, your journey is stress free. Not because you won't have challenges, of course, challenges, but because there's also someone who already knows what is ahead. They can always tell you there's a traffic ahead. You understand? So you are not panicking. There's always someone behind you. But for someone who is not driving with a sat nav, I mean, you take the wrong turn, you drive 5 minutes into it, you find out,
mm,
this is not where I'm supposed to be. You come back and all, even though you might still get to the destination, but the time, the stress, and all that will take you. I mean, it's nothing compared to someone who has a mentor. So mentorship is always key. I've also had that personal experience also, coming up as a professional. So thank you for sharing that explicitly. Anyway, one other question I also want to ask is, for me, uh, growing up as a tech person, right? My greatest fear is to fail in an interview. So it gives you the feeling of you are not good enough. You've learned the wrong thing, or maybe, for example, let's say you are a Java developer now, you go for a Java developer interview, and everything they're asking you is not even related to what you know how that can affect your confidence and all. So
mm.
these kind of challenges and feeling of I'm not good enough, should I apply for this now? I mean, how do you know when you are ready? Yes. How do you know when you are ready? How do you face that fear of unknown in the profession, the fear of applying to a particular job? Some persons have decided to settle for something less, because they are scared if I apply for something higher, I might be rejected, and they are not ready to take on the effect of that rejection. So, how, as a professional, how do you manage these fear and expectation and challenges?
So I'll say that if you go for an interview, all right, and you fail, you should be very happy that you failed. All right. Take note of what they have said and go back and build. One thing you should know is this: when you are learning, you are practicing, all right, everything you are practicing is classically different from what happens in a production setting. All right. So you will not really know what happens in a production setting when you are learning. So maybe you are a JavaScript developer, backend engineer. All right. You have learned how to interact with calls, how to interact with build APIs, REST APIs, and this and that. All right. You're going to find out that if you go to an interview and you see things that they're asking for are things that you've not even thought about at all. All right. So one of the things I usually tell people that I mentor, people that I work with is this: go ahead and build projects. All right. No matter what you are learning, just learn for like 6 months or 1 year, then start building projects. All right. When you start building projects, you start facing some challenges. All right. And it's from those challenges that's when you actually start learning. So build a project from scratch. Do things on your own. If you're a Java developer, look at pick a project, all right, probably a fintech application, and code it from beginning to the end. All right. You are a front-end engineer, all right. Go and look at probably Stripe page and design it, code it from beginning to the end. That's when you start, seeing a lot of things, coming across a whole lot of problems you've never faced before while you are learning. All right. So I would say, in fact, don't even start applying until you've done like 5 projects. You have like 5 projects in your portfolio. All right. So you want to learn, you've picked what you want to learn. Maybe you want to learn backend engineering. So maybe you have picked probably Java, you want to learn Java. Do your learning for like 6 months or 1 year. Then build 5 solid projects. Have 5 solid projects in your portfolio that you build from beginning to the end. All right. So by the time you have done that, you will have come across a whole lot of problems that you will face even while you're working in an organization. And don't cut corners while you're building those projects. All right. You come across a problem, look for the solution, solve that problem, and go ahead. Don't give up. All right. Because guess what? If you get a real work, most of the times you'll be doing is actually solving problems. So it's when you solve a problem, your brain will become wired. And your brain, anytime you see that problem, you already know the answer to that problem. And that is what employers are looking for. So by the time you have 5 solid projects under your belt, no matter what you're learning, whether it's your front end or back end or UI UX, have at least a minimum of 5 solid projects. All right. Then you can start applying. But then start applying is good, but the best way is build your brand yourself. All right. And you are building those projects, set up your LinkedIn profile. All right. Start posting what you are doing. It doesn't matter whether anybody is reading it or looking at it, doesn't matter. Start building whatever you're doing, start posting it on LinkedIn, start building your brand little by little. There's a way LinkedIn algorithm works. It will start showing what you're posting, all right? Start posting it, showing it to people within your circle. And people in that circle of maybe what you're doing is Java backend you're posting. And people in that area will start seeing what you're doing. And gradually, you start building your brand. And also, like I said before, be part of communities. So if you're in a community, you are doing what you're doing, you're building your brand, be posting whatever you're doing on LinkedIn, post into your community. Let people see it. Even if nobody comments, doesn't matter. All right. One day you will see that somebody in that community will reach out to you. Most of the jobs I've gotten have actually been via referrals. All right, they'll just refer me that, guy, Alpha, this company is looking for an AWS engineer. They want to do this. Can you do it for them? I used to see your post that you do AWS. All right, I will just laugh. I say, all right, send me the CEO's number. I'll just start off with the CEO. Whether it's temporary gig or permanent gig, most of what I've gotten today have always been via referrals. So that's why I used to advise my people that I work with, people that I mentor, that I tutor. No matter what it is you are learning, just build your brand yourself. Build your brand, especially on LinkedIn. Build your brand on GitHub. Make sure that your GitHub profile is linked to your LinkedIn, all right? And as a new project, always write about your project. Let people know what you are doing and put it there. Whether you have 5 followers or 1,000 followers, does not matter. Just put it there, all right? You don't know who's going to look at it one day and reach out to you.
That's a whole lot of food for thought, even for myself. Thank you for that. I want to go back to when you decided to transition into tech now. And what I want to ask is, I'm 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 asking this question based on our community. I mean, Nigeria now. For people who wants to learn, the only available material they have is YouTube, right? Some of them cannot even pay for a professional, learning platform, or I mean, a formal education in that field, right? Two sides of the question. How you, as a person, when you were transitioning, how you were able to learn. You understand? How you were able to learn, the platform you use, the materials you use. And of course, I know a lot has changed in 5 years. How do you think someone who wants to transition now but cannot afford to buy Udemy courses, buy Cloud Guru courses, and all, how do you think they can learn, and they can learn properly? Because the truth is, if you don't learn properly as well, yeah, it will. It's just I had that issue when I started learning. Right, I got to a point I got stuck. I had to go back to the basics. You understand? So how were you able to do it, and how would you advise someone who wants to transition into tech now? How would you advise them to learn if they can afford the glamorous learning platform?
Okay, so I also say I also made a mistake, all right, while I was coming out. I enrolled for a class, all right, and I was paying, for that class, and I did like 6 months, and Honestly, I didn't really get anything much from that class. I didn't really get anything much from it. All right. Then I went back to open source. That YouTube that you mentioned, I went back to YouTube, and most of the things I learned, were from YouTube. So I would say YouTube is a complete university of its own. All right. If you're just starting up, don't even bother yourself about looking for any paid course to do. Don't even bother yourself. If you're just starting out, go to YouTube. Every information you need, everything you need to do, everything you want to learn is on YouTube. All right. But now there are so many things on YouTube, so many fluffs, so many materials without real substance there. And that's why community is good. And so you have decided, oh, I want to be a front-end engineer, all right. Oh, I want to be a back-end engineer, all right. First things first, look for a community and join. Several communities, join one community. Once you join one community, all right, put it there. I'm just starting up. Hello guys, I'm just starting out. I want to learn back-end engineering, all right. Please point me to resources that I can start with. And you will see, people that have passed your stage, or that have tried different resources that didn't work, that later tried one that work. They're going to drop it there for you. And they will tell you, okay, if you want to try this channel on YouTube. All right. So each particular area of tech, all right, they will tell you, like me now, if you want to learn AWS, all right, and you want to start with, I will tell you, go to this particular channel on YouTube, all right, and go and watch this playlist and listen to it, practice it for the next 6 months and come back. All right. So anywhere you are, all right, any area you want to go, just drop it on, join a group, all right, and they will point you to it. If you're starting out, go with free resources, all right, and get that introduction and beginner knowledge. Okay, once you have done that for like 6 months or 1 year, you have already moved like from point 1 to like 3 or 4, all right, and you want to, okay, I want to go from 4 to like 5, 6, 7. Then you can look for a paid program and attend. All right, that will take your knowledge from that point. But if you're just starting out afresh, please don't waste your money and go for a paid program. Just go to YouTube. Every resource you need is on YouTube. All right, but then use a community, all right, so that it will point you to the right resource for what you want to learn. If not, there are several resources on YouTube, and you can waste your time for the next 2 years jumping from one YouTube video or one playlist to another, and you will not achieve anything for 2 years. You will not achieve anything, all right? Because there are a lot of people that are content creators. They're just content creators. They will just come up with a learn engineers in 2 hours, all right? Become a backend engineer in 48 hours, which is extremely impossible, all right? And another thing I also add to it is this, all right? If you're starting out your tech journey, give yourself time. Don't believe whatever anybody will say. Come and learn cybersecurity in 3 months. Or in 3 months, you become a cybersecurity engineer and you start doing remote work. It's a complete lie. It's a lie and a deception from people that want to market their course or their content creators, or whatever. Give yourself time. All right. And in fact, what will even take much of your time is not even in the actual thing you want to learn, it's in the basics. Right? Because whether it is front engineer you want to learn or back end or cybersecurity, there are a lot of basics that you need to understand. And learning those basics, if you're a beginner, if you're a fresher, it takes time. Sometimes 6 months, depending on how much time you're able to commit to it, all right, depending on how much background technical knowledge you have before, all right, and also depending on so many factors. Some might take 6 months, some might take 1 year, some might take 2 years to be able to grasp all the fundamentals that you need. So don't be in a hurry that, oh, I want to learn, and in 3 months, I want to be ready and start applying for jobs. It doesn't work that way. All right. Give yourself time, give yourself like a 2 years plan. And say, all right, so I want to learn fundamentals in 6 months. All right. I want to learn, maybe it's Java. I want to learn core Java in another 6 months, 1 year. All right. I want to use 1 year to build. All right. That's 2 years. So after that, I'll be ready to start applying. So if you give yourself that time frame and stick to it, you will know that you will not be disappointed. And in the community, you also see the way you progress. And your knowledge will start compounding and will progressing little by little, little by little. and you don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure. So I've seen a lot of people put themselves under pressure that I've been learning for the past 3 months, or I've been learning for the past 6 months, and now I can't even apply for a job. I don't even know anything. It's normal. It's very much normal. So don't give yourself undue expectations. All right, give yourself time to actually learn, understand, and because it's a long journey and it's a long and rewarding journey. All right, so don't give yourself pressure that under 3 months, under 6 months. I usually tell people if you're starting out, give yourself a 2-year plan. All right, and say in 2 years, this is what I want to do. I want to be ready to start applying for jobs. All right, and if you have a mentor, approach that mentor, tell that mentor, all right, boss, give me a 2-year, you know, a 2-year plan that I should do. What do I need to do in the next 2 years where I can get ready to start applying for a job? All right. And if you meet a real mentor that's experienced, it will guide you and say, all right, take this course, do this, do that. And in 2 years, you should be ready. But you know what I find out? I find out is this: most people, if you tell them that, they'll be like, your own is too much. Which one is 2 years? Which one is 2 years? I want to start ending in 3 months. I want to start ending in 6 months, But and I don't blame them.
Like you said, we have too much content creators now. People who just want to make gain of people. A lot of advertisement you see on training now. You see, become data analyst. You become a data analyst in 3 months. Become a DevOps engineer in 2 months. Become this in 3 months, and you just go there, and in 3 months you will know by yourself that I'm not fit for the job in 3 months, and you get discouraged, right?
Mm.
And you get discouraged. So thank you so much for that. One other issue in our community, I think it's changing now, but it's something I had personally experienced coming up as a tech person. Now, um, you are applying, you want to apply for a job, right? A tech job, and they're asking you for a computer science. In the requirement, they say you must have a computer science degree, or
Mhm.
you must have for example, let's assume you want to apply for a solution architect job, a AWS job. They say you must have what's it called, a AWS certification, associate or professional. I mean, associate exam cost about if not almost over $200. If I remember, over $200. I mean, for someone who is starting up, who is looking for a job, how do you want him to get $200 to start? I mean, you do exam for AWS, you do exam for this, you do. So how do we bridge this gap, right? Where professionals are measured, or they are rated or examined based on their experience and what they can offer, and not based on their educational background, or based on certifications. I mean, anybody can get certifications. You can get certifications anyhow. You understand? So
Mhm.
how do we bridge this gap? How do we create? I also understand a test of, okay, if you are able to pass this exam, then that means you are good, right? It's also okay, but in our community, I mean, if you are in US, in UK, where there are free vouchers for exams. I mean, so people do exam for free, right? Because there's a company somewhere who is sponsoring. There's one NGO somewhere who is giving free voucher. That does not happen in Nigeria. Nobody's going to give you $200 free voucher. You understand? So as a recruiter, or let me use the recruiter now. How do you think we can balance this deficit where we don't rate certifications and educational background above experiences and value? And however, doing that also, we also do not neglect the fact that having a BSc is also important, or having certification is also important.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll say, in order to address that, we need to understand how does hiring actually work in an organization. So let's pick probably Paystack. All right, so Paystack, we want to hire a UI UX designer. All right, so they have a department, all right, design department. There is they have a head of design, all right, and the guy said, oh, I'm lacking, I need a designer, I need to hire one more designer, all right? So the head of design is going to reach out to the HR of Paystack and say, hi, HR, please, I need to add one more designer to my team, all right? So it's the HR that will design, that will come out with the job description and with the advert. So the HR will come up with the advert, share the advert, all right, and everybody will submit, and all those people will come to the HR. So the HR does not know anything about what it takes to be a designer. Doesn't know anything about UI UX, all right? So the HR, the only thing the HR knows is that this is Paystack code. We need, okay, as a UI UX designer, you need a degree in computer science. You put it there, degree in computer science. Oh, for you to be doing, you need to have 4 years experience. The HR will put it there, all right? The HR will search, all right? What's the job description for a UI UX designer, all right? And the HR will just copy, all right, and paste and give that advert. So what the HR will now do is this: they will have an ATS, all right, an applicant tracking scheme software, all right. They will just put it there. So any CV that they get, that CV will just go to their software and said they will just put those guardrails. So if you have a BS in computer science, pass. No BS in computer science, automatic rejection, all right. If you have 4 years experience, pass. No 4 years experience, automatic rejection, all right. And that's what HR will do to do their first filter. And HR will not get those ones that they feel scale through, all right, still do their own filtering and now pass about, let's say 5 or 10 to the design head to interview. So that's how it works, all right. As far as the design head is concerned, design head is not interested in whether you have BS in computer or BTech in computer, all right. The design head is interested in your portfolio, whether you can do the job he wants to do. But then, unfortunately, it's not the design head that's going to do the hiring.
Recruiting. That's right.
Yes, it's the HR. So that is always where we have the issue. And that's why, all right, it's always good to belong to communities. That is one of the most effective ways to bypass what HR does. All right. So I gave an instance. I said there is, if you're in a community, all right, and the head of infrastructure in Paystack wants to recruit, and it belongs to your community, the guy can come to that community and say, hey guys, I need 2 AWS engineers, all right? If you reach out to him, he will ask you, send me your CV, all right? And the guy looks at your CV, you don't have a bachelor's degree, but you have a solid portfolio, you have done this, you have done that. And the guy reach out to you and he likes you. Do you know what the guy is going to do? The guy will send your CV to HR and say, hello HR, this guy is good, shortlisting for interview. So that is one of the most effective ways to bypass the guardrails that HR has set. All right. So if you have a one-on-one connection with the head of the department that is actually recruiting, so whether it's the CTO or whether it's the head of front-end engineering or the back-end engineer or whatever, all right. And guess what? Those guys actually love even recruiting people that they know from the community.
Yeah.
They love doing that.
There's actually a relationship and
yeah, so if you are in a community, it gives you an edge, all right, to be able to bypass that. But if you are not in a community, you will just go to LinkedIn and every day you will see there are hundreds of jobs that come out every day, all right. Recruiting for front-end engineer, this company is recruiting for back-end engineer, and the likes and the likes and the likes. And all those CV will go to the HR, and the HR will just use his or her own screening tool to screen people who are based on what the HR feels should be the right thing. So if you know you don't have a computer science degree, you have a computer science degree, yeah, probably study any other thing not related to tech, all right? And you also don't have a AWS certification, all right? But you have a solid portfolio. You have projects you have done. You are sure that you can do this. You have GitHub profile with projects you have done. You have your link to the projects you have done, all right? Please be active in your community, all right? Like I said, in the AWS community user group that I belong to, there is no week that they will not drop a request for, we need this AWS certified engineer, we need a solution that can do this or can do that. All right. As far as you know you can do it, you have a portfolio, please make yourself available to communities and you will get people that will refer you. And that way you can bypass that HR's requirement. So for me, I think that's one major way. So if you don't belong to communities, another thing you can do is also on LinkedIn, reach out directly to head of departments. All right. So maybe you are a Node.js engineer, you're a backend engineer. All right. On LinkedIn, make sure you are connected. Connect yourself to people that are also backend engineers. All right. Connect. Once you are connected to them, you know, anything you are posting, you are building, they are saying it. Even if they don't talk, they are saying it. All right. So if you see a job in an organization, all right, maybe you see a job by Paystart. Paystart say, oh, we need a backend engineer that have 3 years of experience with Node.js, REST API, GraphQL, and the likes. All right, and there's someone you're already connected to on LinkedIn. Maybe he's not working in Paystack. All right, probably the person is working in maybe by Power. All right, or another startup. You can reach out to that person and say, hey, hello, boss. I saw this job at Paystack. I don't know if you by chance know anybody there. I want to apply. So it's possible the guy might know somebody there, and the guy will tell you based on your prior conversation with him or based on what he has been saying that you are doing.
A
The guy can say,
relationship.
okay, your relationship with the guy, he will say, all right, don't worry. Let me talk to this person. Let me talk to this person. I will get back to you. So that is one of the most effective way, all right, of bypassing HR rules and getting your step in the door. Because you are sure that if you can bypass that and have a direct conversation, you can say what you know. You know this thing, all right. So please make sure you network, connect with people, belong to communities, and you will be able to, have one foot in the door already.
Well, that's educated. Three more questions to go. Two short one and one long one. Thank you so much. Every time I speak to people, I mean, me anchoring and speaking to the people, I be the first person to be educated. You understand? So thank you so much. So if you could go back and give yourself your younger self one piece of advice about the tech career, what would that advice be?
I'll just tell myself, lock in for the next 2 years and learn. Pick one area of tech you want and lock in yourself for the next 2 years. All right. So if I'm just finishing my PSC now, all right, I'll probably I just finished my NYSC. All right, I'll just tell myself, forget every other thing and lock it for the next 2 years.
That's that's a commitment a lot of persons are not willing to do. But of course, if you are disciplined enough and you're serious about it, you you would do that.
Exactly.
One other thing I want to ask is, what's your view on the future of tech in Africa or tech in Nigeria? Where do you see tech in Nigeria in 5, 10 years, and in Africa in 5, 10 years?
Oh my goodness. We are just getting started. All right. We're just getting started in Nigeria or in Africa. Mm. Right now, we still have a whole lot of organizations that are not digitized yet. Right, in the next 5 years, they're going to become digitized. In the next 10 years, they'll become digitized. All right, so I would say we are still scratching the surface. There's going to be a huge demand for front-end engineers, back-end engineers, cybersecurity professionals, cloud engineers, DevOps engineers in the next 5, 10 years. All right, so we are just getting started. Just getting started. So if you are still thinking of considering, please, whatever it is you are doing, go and lock in yourself. All right, and put in all your commitment and learn. All right, so that you don't regret yourself in the next 5 years or 10 years.
Emphasis, follow, join the train. Join the train while
Exactly.
you
Or
can.
get left
While you
behind.
can.
Or get left behind.
While you can. Yeah. My last question is one thing most fresh techies, people just transition into tech experienced, and it is that intersection. I've asked something like that earlier, but I just want to round up with this. It is that intersection between ambition and the desire to pay bills, right? Like you said something. it's for you it was a battle against poverty. You understand?
Definitely.
So that's a drive, right? So I'm just going to paint my a very example that I use severally. For example, you are learning to become a DevOps engineer, or you are learning to become a developer, right? And you are already good at it, but you are not getting the job, right? Then because you can also do IT services, desktop analyst, IT analyst, to do all those troubleshooting and all those things. You are not able to land a job, or you now see a job as an IT analyst, even though it's just it's below where you should be. But of course, you have to pay bills, you have to live, all right. Then you take an IT analyst job. And one thing about work is you can be so engrossed into it that you don't even pay attention to other things. You're just focused on 9 to 5. And I mean, if you're not in a place like Lagos where you have to wake up 2 hours before you get to office, after office 3 hours on the road, and all those things, and that's just your life. That's just your cycle. All right. Now, how do one balance how do you create balance between ambition, all right, where you want to be, and your survivor paying the bills, all right? Should you settle for less, even though you know that's not where you want to be, all right? Should you settle for less just because you want to pay bills, or should you just stick to this is what I deserve, this is what I want, this is where I see myself, and that is what I must get? So how do you balance between both what's it called, the realities?
So first things first, settle for less. I just say just settle for less. So one thing you should know is this: every master starts from somewhere. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
A medical doctor now that just graduates. All right. If he gets a job, they'll start paying you like 150,000. All right. Then you move to 200K, 250K. Probably you start your residency training. You become a consultant. You start earning 500K, 1 million. All right. That's why. So when you are beginning, all right, when you are starting, probably you are learning DevOps engineering. You are learning to become a DevOps engineer. All right. You are learning 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years. And the first job you got is IT analyst. Please take it. All right. Take it. You already have a foot in the door. All right. You already have a foot in the door. So as you are doing your IT analyst job, create a time and continue to develop your portfolio as a DevOps engineer. That is what you should do. All right. So don't see it as what I'm doing now is, as far as is something related to IT, please take it. All right. So if you're learning cybersecurity, all right. I remember when I was doing cybersecurity, there was one job I got as a cybersecurity engineer, and they were offering me 80,000 naira. 80,000 naira as a cybersecurity engineer. Although I already had another job I was doing then, that was paying me 200,000. If I didn't have, I would have taken that job. All right, I would have taken that job of 80,000 because I know I already had my foot in the industry, and it will not take me more than 6 months. All right, what that will give you is you will have enough production experience, and you will have what to talk about when you have another interview. So take that job and see it as a stepping stone.
Yeah, sure.
So because you need to survive, you need to keep body and soul together. And that's why it's always very important if you are still young, when you are not yet married. If you are married, all right, and trying to transition, it's a different ball game entirely.
Yeah.
A different ball game entirely if you are married and you're trying to transition. Because now you have responsibilities on your head. All right. So that's why it now becomes difficult. So maybe you are working in a bank, all right. I used to have a student that was working in a bank, all right. It was earning around 350, 400 in a bank, and he wants to become a DevOps engineer, all right. He's already married, he has a wife, he has 2 kids. Of course, he cannot resign. He cannot resign. So, and now we now have to have a special way for him. So he takes his classes and he wakes up. So initially he wakes up by 5 o'clock, prepare and go to work. Now he has to wake up by 3 o'clock. 3 a.m. so that he has to do what he needs to do before 5 o'clock when he needs to start up and go to work. So he now became much more dedicated and committed because he knows there is something he's chasing that he needs to achieve. All right. So if you are lucky, you get a job as maybe an IT analyst or maybe a system admin or wherever, please, by all means, take it. All right. And see it as a stepping stone to where you are going. It's very rare for you to see someone that is learning maybe back-end engineering, all right, and after 1 year or 2 years, he got a job as a back-end engineer like that. All right. Sometimes it happens, but then it may also not happen. So if you are learning to become a backend engineer and you get a job as a sysadmin or IT person, please take it. All right. It shows that you already have your foot in the door. All right. And while you are doing that, keep on learning, keep on building your portfolio. And I assure you, it's only a matter of time. You're going to get your desired role. All right. Because your knowledge will start compounding, you start meeting new people. Even in that job that you have, all right, you will start being exposed to other things. So please take it and see it as a stepping stone to where you are going.
That's that's that. It's the truth is bitter and it's heavy, actually. But that's just the reality of things.
Mm.
The last question for today is the question everyone wants to have answer for is: does tech really pay the bills? Does tech pay the bills?
Of course, yes, it does. Equivocally, it pays, but give yourself time. All right. So you see somebody today, an average, DevOps engineer in Money Point, all right, today is earning about 3 million or 4 million. All right. The guy didn't start learning DevOps last year. You're learning DevOps last year. This year, Money Point is not going to hire you. All right. So give yourself time. All right. Give yourself. So if you're learning DevOps, you might learn after 1 year. All right. You might get a job with a startup. And that startup might not even pay you at all. Or they might say they'll pay you. I have one of my mentees, all right, that his first job, the startup because was paying him 30,000, 30,000 naira as a DevOps engineer. I told him, don't worry, take it. Take it. Thank God it's fully remote. So it's not as if you are transporting yourself to the office. Take it. All right. You are going to use it to learn and build your portfolio. All right. He took that job and he was doing it. After like 6 months, he got another startup and that was offering him 120,000. And he told me, I said, guy, good one, move. And he moved. All right. And after another 1 year, all right, he got another startup that's paying him 450,000. All right. And today the guy is in the US now. He has jumped out to the US. All right. He's not a big boy now. So it's that's the way it is. All right. Always know that you will start from little. All right.
I will.
And grow, grow, and grow. All right. So that's why I said give yourself like 2 years. After 2 years, you might get your first role, might even be an internship role. Don't worry, take it. I assure you, if you do it very well, within 6 months or 1 year, you'll get another role that might be double of that salary. Within another 1 year, you'll get another one. And within after like 5 years, all right, I assure you, you will. Your colleagues that are in other profession, you will leave them far, far, far away. Tech pays the bills, but tech rewards people that know what they are doing, people that are
Who are
experts in a
committed,
particular domain.
who are
Exactly. So
disciplined.
that's just it. Know what you're doing, be committed, understand it very well, and you will see that you're going to escape poverty. Let me just put it that way. You're going to escape poverty with tech.
All right. Thank you so much, John. We have come to the end of today. I wish we can keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. I mean, I personally am enjoying the conversation. It's also an eye opening for me, as someone who's also growing up in the tech world. So thank you for sharing your experience. I mean, you've graced us with. The wealth of your experience. And I want to appreciate that. So thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. And once again, this is Tech Talks, where we discussed the pathways and possibilities in the tech world. Here is where you will hear real stories and real tech. Thank you and have a good day ahead.
Uh, Then I
Yeah.
think before we round up,
Yeah.
all right, I think you should also let your viewers know about your community, Tech Tribe, all right, so that in case there are people that are watching this, they are just trying to start off from what you have said, so that they can join your community, all right, let them join and they can, be part of the
All right.
community and they can grow.
All right. You've heard the boss spoken. The boss have said you must join Tech Tribe community. It's a platform for you to grow. It's a platform for you to grow. So if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you need to reach out to us, our website is www.techtribe.org.uk and www.techtribe.com.ng. We are also all on social media: Facebook, Tech Tribe, Instagram, Tech Tribe. We're on LinkedIn as Tech Tribe, and on Twitter as Tech Tribe. So once again, this is Tech Tribe, and this is Tech Talks. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.
All right, bye. Thank you for having me.